Don't just fix it, fix everything. Fix everything. Fix everything. And that's what this arrow is trajectory. Okay? The cosmos had, in God's plan, it had a direction, had a place to go. It wasn't just supposed to stay. So by the way, they are dear misguided souls in our culture who believe that the best stuff in the world, the best nature in the world is untouched by human hand. Right? They're wrong. Now, that makes sense. I'm digging myself in a hole. I think it's wonderful if you were in charge of a whole planet. It would be a wonderful thing to keep part of that planet in its natural, untouched state, like a museum. So people go and say, oh, here's what it looks like before we get a hold of it. Okay? But God clearly thought that mankind was supposed to fix the entire planet. Okay? So nothing wrong with having state parks, national parks, nothing wrong with having sanctuaries where we let things go natural and see what happens. Nothing wrong with that. But clearly, God's plan, that was not God's plan. And clearly, we're all thankful that human beings we have indoor toilets, we like that. We have hot and cold running water, most of us, we like that. We get in cars and drive around, we like that. So face it, we like everything that man has done to the planet, except for the bad stuff. That's because we're fallen, but we're working on it, okay? God's working on it. My point is, there was a trajectory, and a whole bunch of stuff has happened, fall, redemption, and we know, most of us confused, that most Christians are confused about what was that original trajectory, because now most Christians believe that after this life, after we die, we go to heaven. And heaven is a wonderful place, full of glory and grace. I want to see my Savior's face. Heaven is wonderful. Heaven is glorious. Heaven is, you're so glad you didn't grow up there. But heaven is a wonderful place. But that leads to a great big question. Well, if we're going to heaven, what were Adam and Eve? Where were they going had the fall not happened? Right? Now, I know some of you have been here a while. We've been here before. Let me propose to you, and I don't have time to back this up scripturally any more than I'm already doing this morning, but let me propose to you that where the cosmos was going and where we, redeemed by the blood of the Lamb, are going is in fact exactly the same place. Okay? And that's way different from traditional Christian theology. I want you to know that. See, I'd be in that emergent book over there right now because I'm throwing a whole bunch of stuff that, well, we all thought we're going to heaven. If you like reading or if you like checking up on this stuff, write this name down. Tom Wright, W-R-I-T, Thomas Wright or Tom Wright. Is that name? Tom Wright. He's the canon, whatever that means, the canon theologian of the Anglican Church, which means he's some big head honcho of the Anglican Church. That's all I know. And I really, really like him. And oh, by the way, he would be in that list of emergent type people would be Tom Wright. And he's written a book, and I have not read it. I'm going to buy it one of these days. I've gone and flipped through it several times at Barnes & Noble, you know, when Nancy and I are just taking a little time off and hanging out. And it's called Surprised by Hope. Surprised by Hope. So here's one of the biggest theologians on the planet blowing the whistle on heaven. And he says, wrong, 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 we're not going to heaven.
Amen.
Yeah, that's what he says. And it's really fun. He gets interviewed. He's English, British, of course, and he gets interviewed by the BBC and says, so I understand that you're the theologian that is eliminated heaven. Is that right? And the secular press has a lot of fun with him. But I really think he's right. Okay, Gary?
I'm having a little trouble about your terminology.
Say it ain't so.
Yeah. When you say that God wanted us to fix the world, now I can understand since He gave us sovereignty over this world.
Right.
And step back from that, or He gave up that sovereignty
right.
that He gave to us.
Right. Right.
So that we could do anything that we wanted to do to this world, basically.
Kind of, yeah, yeah. He said, you're in charge.
Be good or bad.
That's
you're
right.
in charge.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
right. I like your terminology
I
so
don't
far.
equate that, I don't equate that to fix.
No, I'm using a term to try to de-theologize it, to make it sound. He put us in this cosmos, said, now you guys husband it, you take care of it, you oversee it. Yeah.
Let's develop and explore.
Develop, explore.
Yeah.
Build and
Yeah, exactly.
create and.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yes.
Just rearranging.
Does that better? Does that feel better to you?
That to me is rearranging
Oh, sure.
the ships on the Titanic or.
No,
James,
no. It wasn't sinking when he first gave us the job.
That's before sin happened, and I think when you go back to our time here on earth as a dress rehearsal for what the afterlife will fellowship with God will be, to see how will we influence that which we're given.
Yeah.
Will we continue the trajectory of God's vision and bring our own uniqueness to each, my plot, your plot, your plot? How will they differ? How will they bring life? That kind of stuff.
Yes. Now, so let me go on. I'm fine with that, Gary. Yeah. And so I'm using the word fix just to try to not sound too smart. Let's take just a minute. So, are you with me? I think where we're going and where Adam and Eve and the cosmos was going are one and the same thing. And let me kind of talk like myself a little bit like Tom Wright for a minute here. He says, yes, okay, when you die you go to heaven. I think you probably do, but you're coming back, is basically what it says. He says the bottom line is we're coming back. In other words, we are physical creatures, and we've dealt with this quite a bit. In other words, completely. The whole notion that we go to heaven and float around or that we're disembodied is completely poppycock. It's wrong. It should never have been introduced into the Christian thinking at all. But most Christian on the streets, if you interview them, they think we're going to turn into angels and other crazy stuff. No. And for what it's worth, the two biggest chapters for me on our eternal state are Romans chapter 8 and Luke chapter 24. Yeah, Luke 24, which is the post-resurrection appearances of Jesus, which what he did, we're going to do. And by the way, he didn't walk through walls. It doesn't say he walked through a wall. he appeared in the room. That's a lot different from walking through the wall. So somehow he teleported. It's easy for all us Trekkie fans to understand that. He teleported in the middle of that room, and somehow we're going to be able to do the same thing. But Romans chapter 8, the whole creation groans, not looking for its destruction, but looking for its redemption. I believe the whole creation is going to be put back on this trajectory. Let me take just a few minutes to perhaps open your minds. Maybe your mind's already open, but mine's been cracked open. I want to use a teaching from secular cosmologists, astronomers, not astrologers, astronomers, just for a minute. I love reading that stuff, but anyway, I love reading that stuff and hearing it taught. This is what secular scientists are thinking. And in the world of cosmology or astronomy, by some, there is this terminology called level 1, level 2, and level 3 civilization. And when I heard this several years ago, I was absolutely fascinated by it. And I don't know how widespread this is, but it was in some like a Stephen Hawking type book, or Michio Kaku, one of those guys. Apparently this terminology is widespread enough that in the right circles you'd be understood. A level 1 civilization is when they call it a race? Well, anyways, when mankind lives in perfect, symbiotic, self-sustaining relationship with a planet. Okay? Now that's conceivable. It's conceivable to us, and the book that I read estimated that we are right now at a 0.7 civilization. That is, on a scale of 1 to 10, we're at a 7 in living on this planet in a sustainable way. That is, that we're not using it up and it's going to destruction, but this could go on. This is a sustainable pattern. We could do this forever.